Hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch, and I have jingling Momo the Wonder Dog on my lap. So today's podcast will talk about how everything is connected, a little folklore, a little fruitcake, and a recipe. So at the time of my recording, it is December 5th, Krampus night. So Merry Krampus not to you. Krampus is a dark winter holiday folklore character from Central Europe, a goat-like creature with cloven hooves that is responsible for gathering up naughty children and throwing them in sacks, hanging them from trees, or worse. In my part of the world, there aren't a lot of Krampus celebrations. We did go to a vendor fair last year that was Krampus themed, which was fun, but I would love to go and see a full out Krampus costume and Krampus festival. In my part of Pennsylvania, they tend to happen in the communities with more of a German traditional background, but I haven't found one within 2.5 hours. So maybe someday that will be in our future. Tomorrow is St. Nicholas Day, St. Nick's Day, which is the softer side of the Krampus folklore. St. Nick's Day, Nicholas Day, based on a bishop from Turkey who gave money to a widower to pay the dowry for his daughters so they would not be sold into servitude or worse. And that sort of spun off into the folklore and traditions of putting coins in shoes and hanging stockings for gifts, which translates into a more modern day Santa Claus folklore. Years ago, we were attending an Episcopal church for a bit, and not at the church we attended, but at a larger church in the district. They were having a St. Nick's church event. So we went, we had to take our shoes off at the door. They gave us these cool little paper slippers to put on. And after the church service, where someone was dressed up like St. Nick, like dressed like a bishop from the earlier centuries, handed out candy canes to the kids, and then we had little gold foil wrapped chocolate candies in our shoes, which was kind of a cute tradition, also from Europe, but more Northern Europe, I believe. More the Saint Nick part, other than Bishop Nicholas, who was from Turkey. So, folklore can change from culture to culture, and it grows and it spreads and it changes, and that's how everything is connected. So the majority of today's podcast is going to be about fruitcake folklore. Fruitcake, you either love it or you hate it. And on my original cottage page, I had done an entire guide post on fruitcake folklore and recipes and fruitcake spells. I still have that archived, so I did go and tap that resource and posted the easy fruitcake recipe onto the cottage Facebook page. So if you're interested in a printed version of the recipe I'm using today, you can find it, and there's some folklore included on that Facebook post. Now, in ancient days, fruitcake was often used for abundance and prosperity, as many breads and baked goods were. Later, it became more a food of royalty, and then developed into protection and fertility spells, and then around the time of Carl Jung became more of shadow work. And now in modern USA culture, fruitcake's sort of like, media has made fruitcake a joke. Like, fruitcake is that gift that no one wants kind of thing. But I actually love to make fruitcake, and although not a fan of the heavily candied, sugary, dried fruits, I do like fruitcake. I just sort of stick to dates and figs and raisins. So let me go over the recipe ingredients that I have and do correspondences with you. So fruitcake can be used as a sweetener spell. My recipe calls for packed light brown sugar. You could also substitute that with a Splenda product or an alternative product. I do a half and half mix in my recipe, half white Splenda, half brown sugar Splenda, which I do in a lot of my baked products. Water to connect to the element of water. Butter for abundance, prosperity, and fertility. Cinnamon for luck, prosperity, and spell boosting. Cloves for anti-gossip and protection. Ginger for health and passion. Salt for protection. It says 2 cups of raisins, currants, and cranberries. We'll come back to that when I cover all the fruits. Eggs for abundance and fertility and nourishment. All-purpose flour for abundance, wealth, and prosperity. And I mix sourdough starter in with mine. Baking soda as an activator. Vanilla extract as an emotional... Oh, I forgot what word I wanted to use. Vanilla is often used for calming emotions, so let's call it that. Vanilla extract for calm, emotional stability. And the last ingredient, which I wouldn't use, is candy orange or lemon peels. And that is citrus is often used for prosperity and great happiness. So let's talk a little bit about other fruits. Raisins and currants are often associated with the Greek god Dionysus. In Greek or Roman culture, the god of wine, fertility, sex, partying, group jovial festivities. Cranberries can also be included in that, and also as a happiness, passion, and not emotional calm like vanilla, but emotional happy stability, if that makes sense. Like the difference between I'm just calm or I'm pleasant. Let's use that word. Emotional pleasantness. Some of the candied, high sugar dried fruits, cherries for passion and fertility, pineapple for luxury and wealth. So if you want to bring extreme wealth into your life, dried pineapple might be the ticket for your fruitcake. The citruses for happiness, positivity, and joy. And I'm sure there's others that you could mix in. I use dates and figs, which correspond with Christianity as well, for abundance, good health, prosperity, and good life, good living. Okay? Now, let's jump into the shadow work portion a little bit. So in regards to shadow work, the spirits, the alcohol that some people add to fruitcake can correspond, spirits can correspond with spirit work or shadow work. So adding alcohol to your fruitcake can help enhance attacking shadow work and connecting with your inner self or inner spirit or multiverse spirit plane work. Some of the alcohol or spirits that were recommended were brandy, rum, whiskey, bourbon, or the fruity liqueurs like triple sec, which I would probably stay away from. Alcohol can be added to your fruitcake by soaking the fruit in the alcohol, mixing a little bit of alcohol into the batter, or poking holes with a toothpick in your completed fruitcake loaves and drizzling alcohol on the fruitcake after the fashion. If you want a non-alcoholic fruitcake, one that doesn't have one that wouldn't affect your ability to drive, I would put it in the batter and let the alcohol burn off. Otherwise, if you're pouring alcohol over, that is going to have alcohol content when you partake of the fruitcake. So if you need to do a little shadow work or spirit work, you may want to add some spirit yummies to your fruitcake. If you know someone that needs to do a little spirit work, you may want to add some to theirs. So let's go over my recipe. And again, during about the 1700s, fruitcake was considered a fertility spell, and depending on what you put in it, a child that was conceived on fruitcake was said to have the potential to marry into or become royalty or have great wealth. Okay? My recipe is, we are starting out with 1 cup of light brown sugar. You can substitute anything as you wish. 1 cup of water, 1/4 cup of butter diced or softened, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, which I'll be skipping, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. I will probably substitute cardamom for my cinnamon. Then we get to the fruit. My recipe calls for 2 cups of seedless golden raisins, currants, or dried cranberries. Dried raspberries might be good. 1 cup of candied orange or lemon peel. So this recipe calls for 3 cups of fruit. Okay, so you can figure that out as you wish, what you want to mix and match to get your 3 cups. 2 eggs, lightly beaten, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of sourdough starter, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla extract, optional, and then at the end, more fruit or diced or chopped nuts if you wish. Nuts can also correspond to fertility. I'm allergic, so I'll be skipping those, but you can add them if you wish. I do my fruitcakes in small loaves. So I have a big pan that has 8 mini loaves in it. And so I'll spray that. My pans are dark. So I will bake mine at 325 in the small loaf pans for approximately 18 to 20 minutes, doing a stick test to make sure that the toothpick comes out clean. If you're using lighter pans, you may want to use a 350 degree oven and modify as you wish on time. If you are using a large loaf pan or a large bundt cake pan or another large pan, you may want to adjust your baking time anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour or more, depending on how dense your batter is. So there's some baker's choice in that. I also have tried to do it in a sheet cake pan and then cut it into individual slices. I would probably bake that at 20 to 25 minutes. And I've also played with muffin tins and baked for 12 minutes. So again, depending on what you're making, you're going to adjust for that. I let my finished product cool on a rack. Take them out, let them cool on a rack until they feel firm and dry, and then either wrap them in paper or store them in Ziploc bags. You can freeze fruitcake, or if it has a lot of alcohol in it, it may be used as a preservative. Feel free to adapt any recipe as you wish for your fruitcake spells. Personally, I love fruitcake. Now, my son is diabetic, so we do Splenda instead of the sugar, and we stay away from the high sugary candied fruit, but we have had no problem with blood sugar rises on using dates and raisins, and he can eat a little bit of that, and it's highly packed with fiber and nutrition, and he likes it too, and we've had no problems with that. So when you're working on your batter, you may want to stir in intentions. Remember, stirring clockwise for positivity, counterclockwise for negativity. Use those instructions as you wish. You can trace sigils or symbols into your batter. You could do a little alluromancy or flower divination, or even write wishes or divination wishes on paper to add into the final product. It depends on what you want to do and whether you're going to keep it all to yourself or share it with others. So if you have any questions, somebody's getting fussy in Mom's lap. If you have any questions about this recipe or any of this folklore, feel free to reach out to me at The Holistic Witch on gmail.com or on social media, wherever you follow me. Happy to see more people playing the Facebook games, following along with some of the folklore. And honestly, I'm just trying to normalize kitchen witchery as a norm. Right now, it seems like magical practices are very commercially based as far as buying specialty items, and I'd like to bring back kitchen and cottage witchery as a norm, and getting back to healthy whole foods and magical foods as well. So we have an appointment today, so I'm going to leave this. If you are celebrating St. Nicholas Day or Krampus Day, I wish you many blessings and much fun. My community is having like their community Santa thing on Sunday. So I'm scheduled to go help out with that with an organization. So hoping to have some holiday fun out in the community, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Momo the Wonder Dog and I wish you many blessings. Be safe, be magical, and remember, everything's connected. Momo's smiling at you, podcast family. Have an awesome weekend. Much love. Bye-bye.